Hello, hello, hello. ItherynPlays here, and we are going to do a tier list. Tier list for agents, and then followed straight away by a tier list for weapons. Why am I doing this? Because I need a video, and because I have a lot to say about each individual weapon, as well as each individual agent. Now, Red, S tier. By far, best agent in the game. She can boost pretty much every single weapon significantly. She turns the crossbow from OP into God tier, and she turns many other weapons from being either average, slightly above average, into basically top tier weapons. Basically, boosting a weapon's gun handling when you already have really good weapons is just insane, and you don't need to worry about ghosts if you know what you're doing anyway. You can just roll their attack each and every single time, or you can throw psionic grenades, or you can just simply avoid them. Now, next best, Scalpel. I think it's fair to say she's A tier. Mainly because, yes, she has a self-heal built into her ability. Yes, she can one-shot stun ghosts, but at the same time, why? Why stun ghosts when you can walk straight past them? Why have an ability that you will never use on Exosuit when you can have an ability that speeds up Exosuit by approximately a minute, depending on your weapon? Red is significantly better than Scalpel, and Scalpel is significantly better than the remaining two. She is very good all-round character, because her ability is great for every stage up to Exosuit, but as far as I'm concerned, you can do every stage up to Exosuit with the worst character in the game. It doesn't not matter what ability you have, you can just walk straight past all the ghosts, so yeah. Now, next up, you would think Beaker. However, Beaker is C tier by a long way. Reason I say that is because her ability may be, let's say, noob proof. You can heal and keep your group alive as new players. However, the very second you get a bionic cube or a bionic enhancement that boosts your health by 50 or 100%, or if you get the soul harvester, her ability is not going to scale with that health. I do feel that her healing ability should scale with maximum health. It would make her stronger, but yeah, the second you get max health, her heal will just tickle your health bar. And when it comes to getting health regen, if you get the +5 health regen per 4 seconds, or if you get the +10 health regen per 4 seconds, she's just outright useless. You will regenerate more health than she can heal on her cooldown. Like, she has no use of any kind. She's just absolutely useless. Because she's countered by the fact that the very second you upgrade your character, she has no purpose. Like, just never pick Beaker. Simply never pick Beaker and just take a single health regen, and you will notice that more than you will her healing ability. Next up, Boy Scout. Now, Boy Scout is technically kind of bad, right? Because his knockback, like, it does no damage, right? It can one-shot things in parking lot, but after that, it does nothing. Now, his ability isn't meant to be damage, obviously. It's meant to be a knockback and crowd control to get you out of tight spaces. And that is the only reason that he is higher than Beaker, because his ability can save you. Whereas Beaker's, while it can save you, but I mean, you can just pick up a bionic cube or a bionic enhancement and do this exact same thing and be safer by picking any of the other three. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much as is. Like, I don't see this tier list changing at all until the agents get reworks. It's very obvious this is the tier list and should be very obvious to anyone who's playing the game regularly. Red is by far the best DPS character in the game, and DPS is the only thing that matters. The best defense is a good offense. Scalpel's great if you're really uncomfortable dealing with ghosts or skipping ghosts. Just take Scalpel and just kill them all because you'll one-shot them as long as you take 25% special potency. Boy Scout's a good noob trap, kind of. Like, he can save you from tight spaces if you back yourself into a corner, but just don't back yourself into a corner. Wink, wink. And Beaker, well, she's just terrible. Best dialogue character in the game. Like, she has the best personality of any of them, mainly because, well, She's crazy, and yeah. But when it comes to her ability, she's outright useless. And you can probably argue with me all you want on that. You will not change my opinion. She is just outright useless. And then this picture here, by the way, is literally just here because I needed 5 pictures to make the tier list. So just ignore that. It's obviously the next character. Now, weapons tier list. This one should be very obvious, especially if you've been in the Discord for the game where I've already posted this tier list. You know. So, worst weapon in the game, flamethrower. Why is flamethrower the worst weapon in the game? Because it can deal with hordes. Sure, that's its job. It can kill hordes fast. But guess what? So can every other gun on this list. And guess what? They can do it slightly slower. Some weapons can do it slightly faster. Some weapons can do it the same. But guess what? All of these weapons have in common that the flamethrower doesn't. They can all kill exosuit. Now the flamethrower, with every single damage perk in the game, cannot kill exosuit. In fact, it can't even get exosuit beneath 40% health. Well, I mean, it can't get him below 40% health, not it can't deal 40% health, which it can, but it just can't deal more than 60% of exosuit's health with every single damage perk in the game, while avoiding every single hit, not getting stunned, and taking many risks to accomplish that damage. It just cannot kill exosuit. Thus, it is the worst weapon in the game and in desperate need of a buff. Now, the next worst weapon in the game. If you had to think what it was, if you hadn't already seen this tier list, what would you think it is? If you said the photon cannon, you are correct. Pat yourself on the back. Photon cannon needs virtually every single DPS perk in the game to kill exosuit with a few seconds to spare. It is the second worst DPS gun in the whole game. Why is it? Because its rate of fire is absolutely abysmal. It has a really long charge time, a really long delay between each shot, and it does shit all damage. You need literally every single DPS perk in the game to even make this gun feel as it pretty much should with 3 or 4 perks. It is so bad. Now, best weapon in the game? Crossbow. Who would have guessed it? Why is the crossbow the best weapon in the game? Because it can deal with hordes. Well, with the right perks, it can deal with hordes much faster than the flamethrower can. It can kill exosuit in under a minute, though you do need a lot of perks to make that happen. And it kills it in an average 1 minute to 1 minute and 10 seconds with most of the perks, which you will always get anyway. It is without a doubt the best weapon in the game and substantially more OP than the next tier of weapons. Now, the next tier of weapons. If you had to think what the second most overpowered gun is, which would you think it was? If you said the sawed-off shotgun, you would be correct. Sawed-off shotgun actually out DPSs the tactical crossbow on exosuit. You can kill exosuit in 42 seconds if you have every single damage perk in the game and play the fight well. You can probably get it to 40 seconds. I did get hit once. I wish I was recording, but I wasn't. You can kill exosuit in 42 seconds with the sawed-off shotgun. It is the best boss killing weapon by far. You will do massive damage with a sawed-off shotgun. So why is it not S tier? Well, because it sucks versus the Horde. Well, not so much the Horde, but more QTs mixed amongst the Horde. It honestly, the sawed-off shotgun is shit versus skirmishers. It is shit versus exterminators. It's good versus disposers, and it's good versus the shield guys. It's just dog shit versus the other two. The amount of runs that I've actually lost with a sawed-off shotgun because it's so awkward to use it against skirmishers because it's a 2-shot with a reasonably long reload. Well, reasonably-ish reload, but long enough to cause issues with skirmishers. And against exterminators, its range for its damage is just to stay on the edge of the purple cloud, meaning that if you misstep, you can actually end up with the debuff. And it's kind of annoying. So for that reason, it's not S tier, it's A tier. Which is a shame, because it is... If you can... Well, let's just say, if you take Arc Cannon as your secondary weapon, so you can deal with the more frustrating situations or negatives of the sawed-off shotgun, and use sawed-off shotgun for sawed-off shotgun for exosuit, then it's technically the best weapon in the game. But yeah, I mean, it has weaknesses, whereas the crossbow doesn't have a weakness. So A tier. Next best, submachine gun. Very obvious. It's really, really powerful. Like nothing comes close on B tier to the submachine gun. The gap between these three and then everything that's going to be on B, because all of these are on B tier, and then the gap between all of these on B tier to the photon cannon on C tier is again a canyon. So submachine gun, what does it have really? It has a reasonable clip size. It doesn't have the best ammo pool in the world, but its damage and DPS is just absolutely insane. Not to mention its tier 3 and tier 4 weapon perks are incredible. Its tier 1 and tier 2 perks are all shit. But its tier 3 and tier 4 perks are significantly better than that of the assault rifle, for example. Yeah, the submachine gun is just awesome. It is one of the best feeling weapons and best sounding weapons in the game, especially if you remove the silencer. Though I wouldn't recommend that because that perk is average at best. But yeah, the unsilenced submachine gun sounds awesome. Now, next weapon, assault rifle. I'm going to go through these in order, by the way. The assault rifle is an amazing weapon, though I think it is shit. I really do not like the assault rifle. Personal preference, DPS numbers speak for itself. It is a good hard killer. It is a reasonably okay to good QT killer, and it is a very above average exosuit killer. But just because it is not my personal preference, I don't like the spread. I don't like the rate of fire. I certainly do not like the ammo pool. There is nothing wrong with it in general. It is just personal preference, and it does have exceptional DPS numbers. So yeah, it is without a doubt the fourth best weapon in the game, despite the fact that I hate it. And as much as I shit on it in my videos, the numbers speak for itself. I've done enough runs with it. I've recorded enough runs with it. I've seen its DPS and clear speeds that it's B tier easily. Now, next best weapon might surprise a few. It's the minigun. Minigun with the right perks. If you have the tier 2 perk that auto aims at everything within 7 meters, it counteracts its one weakness of turn speed, and it is a really good QT killer. It is a really good boss killer. It can kill exosuit really fast as long as your dodge timing is correct, so you don't get stunned. Yeah, it is just a really, really good all-round weapon that can deal with every situation, and its DPS numbers are good enough. You don't need a tier 4 perk, so you don't need to worry about that. You can basically just get it to tier 3, or even tier 2, honestly, because the tier 3 perks aren't that great. So let's just say you can get it to tier 2, ignore all of the R&D cubes and, well, enhancement should I say, and just specifically go for raw damage. You can get it to about 80 odd damage a shot and just have massive DPM, or DPS should I say. It's a really good weapon. Now, next best weapon, pump action shotgun. Again, another weapon that I'm not overly keen on, but its clear speed is really fast. Its boss killing is really fast with the right perks and right playstyle. Just remember that the closer you are to the target, the less spread on the shots you're going to miss exosuit on, so your DPS will be increased the closer you are. Yeah, it's a decent weapon. It's a good all-round weapon, and it has arguably some of the best perks, though I despise its tier 4 perks. In fact, I despise a lot of the sort of shotgun's tier 4 perks as well. I don't like the negatives on them, but I don't know why there's so many negatives on a shotgun's tier 4 perk. I think it's pretty shit, but it is what it is. Next best weapon, Plasmoid. Now, a lot of people hate this weapon and think this weapon's worse than it is. Meanwhile, it is one of the best weapons in the game. If you're solo, at least. I would probably put it a fraction higher if I was solo. Like, I'd even put it at the top of B if I was wanting to be very biased. Like, honestly, I would very easily put it there if I wanted to be biased about it because its playstyle is significantly better than the others. And I really want to put it there, but because I know people would hate me if I did, I'm just going to put it there. And the reason for that, by the way, is because if you take the tier 3 perk that stops the explosions dealing damage to you, you can basically face hug every single enemy in the game and just pretty much one-shot them. If you get the tier 2 perk that stuns targets, nothing will ever touch you or come close to you ever in the whole game. You will permanently stun them. It has a decent rate of fire. It has decent damage. It can kill exosuit fine. If you have every damage perk, it's about 400 to 500 damage a shot, which is roughly around the same as a sniper rifle, except it's AoE because it has explosions. You can bounce shots off wall. You can do trick shots. It is so fucking good. It is insane. Like, it is a really, really strong weapon. And I cannot speak highly of this weapon. If you can master this weapon, then yeah, honestly, it should be there, but I don't want the hate, so it's there. Really wanted to put it there in the tier list on Discord too, but I didn't want to get downvoted or clown emojied. But yeah, if you want my honest opinion, it's there. Shh, don't tell anyone. Next best weapon. Now, honestly, I'm putting them both in. While Fan the Hammer is removed from the game, it's technically okay. While Fan the Hammer is not in the game, it's technically there. However, I think it's unfair to make a tier list and then a week later, when it's fixed, make a new tier list, right? So I'm putting it in as though Fan the Hammer existed. If Fan the Hammer existed, Revolver is there by a long way. Well, not a long way. The gap between them is roughly the same. Fan the Hammer is incredible. It is, or at least I'm fairly sure it's called Fan the Hammer. Basically, the tier 4 perk where you unload every shot in your clip. As long as you have continuous fire rate and as long as you have reload rate, you will load those shots up really quick, and when you don't need Fan the Hammer, you will annihilate everything. And then when you want to use Fan the Hammer, you basically destroy QTs, and it is one of the safest weapons on exosuit there is. You can Fan the Hammer, walk away, reload, pop your head back around the center column, unload again with Fan the Hammer, and then kite around the column again, unload with Fan the Hammer, kite around the column again. It is the weapon that I will use for the no-hit run. Either that or the crossbow, but the revolver, at the end of the day, is the safest on exosuits, so 9 times out of 10 I will use revolver. Now, sniper rifle. Sniper rifle is an insanely average weapon. Its tier 3 and tier 4 perks are all shit. I don't care what anybody says. The 50% reload and the movement speed while reloading is a reasonable tier 3 perk. It is the best tier 3 perk there is, but only because of the other 3 tier perks, tier 3 perks. Tier 3 perks being shit. Now, when it comes to tier 4 perks, that corrosive pool is garbage. That perk that increases the rate of fire basically doesn't increase the rate of fire. It genuinely feels the same. But at the same time, the sniper rifle does decent damage. Its rate of fire is okay. It has a reasonable kill time. It's the safest weapon against QTs. It's average against hordes, but honestly, if you're not doing videos like I am where I only use one specific weapon, then as long as you have any of the other firearm weapons for hordes, sniper rifle is good. It's a good secondary weapon. It's not a really great primary weapon, but it is a very good QT and exosuit killer. But its perks are just shit. Like, it has the worst weapon perks of any weapon in the game. Actually, no, that's a lie. Photon cannon, flamethrower, technically have the worst perks. Minigun tier 3 and tier 4, some of the worst perks. Yeah, I mean, its perks are crap. It holds it back massively. Its rate of fire is terrible, but its damage is high enough to warrant it being B over C. Arc cannon is the last weapon in B tier. It's really decent weapon versus everything other than exosuit. If I was rating this weapon against specifically everything prior to exosuit, it would be S tier. However, the second you factor in exosuit, it just drops off a cliff. It takes so long to break exosuit's purple bar with almost every single damage perk in the game. It takes so long to break his bar that it basically ends up being close to a 3-minute fight or 3.5-minute fight to actually kill exosuit. But it is still a very, very good weapon, and it is significantly better than a photon cannon. I really, really like the arc cannon, and it is a very good secondary weapon to the sawed-off shotgun. I would recommend, honestly, taking the sawed-off shotgun and taking arc cannon as a secondary. Now, if I was to quickly go over this in a what is a primary weapon, what is a secondary weapon situation here, tactical crossbow is a primary and a secondary. You don't want a minigun with a tactical crossbow. You just need 2 tactical crossbows, one for your burst DPS and one for your secondary value weight for ammo. Sort of shotgun's primary, it's not a secondary. Submachine gun is a primary, not a secondary, although it can be a secondary to sniper rifle if you're a sniper man, but its DPS warrants it's a primary. Minigun is a primary, you don't want it as a backup. Assault rifle, no comment. I am biased. It's not a great primary, like you would take submachine gun as a primary every day over it. Shotgun is a good primary and secondary. Plasmoid, primary. Revolver, honestly, primary. Sniper, secondary, unless you're a really dedicated sniper man, but at that point, just play a crossbow. Arc cannon, honestly, I like the weapon, but it's a secondary. Photon cannon, burn it alive until it gets buffed. Never use this weapon. Flamethrower, pick it up, throw it in the recycle bin, and hope for it to get buffed. It's a decent secondary as a low level in lobby sort of thing, but other than that, it's garbage. So, that's it. I hope you liked the video. I hope you learned something, maybe. Next up, I will be doing a tier list of all of the enhancement tiers. So, for example, I will be doing a firearms enhancements tier list, psionic enhancement tier list, R&D enhancement tier list, bionic enhancement tier list, and the neutral enhancement tier list. I'll be doing this later in the week, and it will be uploaded whenever it says in my community post section on my YouTube channel. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hopefully you learned something. Maybe it improved your knowledge about certain things, or maybe it's basically told you what weapons to not use, what weapons to use, what agent to use, what agents to not use. Hope you enjoyed. Peace. See you around.